So the Trump administration is now telling the National Park Service to strip out references to slavery. Not surprisingly, they don't want anyone to learn about slavery, but this even includes ordering the removal of one of the most famous images from the Civil War era, showing a man, and we can actually bring up that photo. It's a man whose back is covered in scars from whippings. That is one of the clearest, most undeniable pieces of evidence of what slavery actually was, how brutal and barbaric and savage and animalistic it was. And they want it gone because they don't want you to understand that. It's much harder to spread this narrative of, oh, slavery was benevolent and oh, they got jobs and it was great and everyone loved it and that was taken away by the damn Northerners and all that. No, you see that and you think, oh no, that's terrible. I would never want that to happen to me or someone I care about. It's insane that that was the way our system worked for hundreds of years. And so they're getting rid of it. And this is a part of this push since March, actually. It was an order to the Interior Department to cut anything seen as disparaging Americans, including slave-owning, murderous Americans. You can't disparage them. And instead we focus on greatness. It's all about our greatness, by the way. That photo is called the Scourged Back. It shows a man named Peter Gordon. A reproduction of the photo was on display at Georgia's Fort Pulaski National Monument. Fort Pulaski was a former Confederate prison camp, later taken over by the Union Army, and that is now done. I just want to be very clear. We throw around the term propaganda a lot. Everything's propaganda. They're saying that having this accurate historic information about slavery is propaganda. But I just want to remind everyone that of all the genres of propaganda, there's no more classic than the government telling you everything's great, everything has always been great, we've been great. Don't down on us, we're awesome and only getting better. That's like the main classic recipe of propaganda. And that's what Donald Trump is doing here. And it's one thing for him not wanting those displays in Mar-a-Lago or something. It's one thing for him to not want to learn about this history. But he is insisting and using the power of the federal government to make sure that the next generation doesn't learn that people going around America and going to our historic sites cannot know accurate information about what our country has done. And I think it's grotesque. Sharon, what do you make of it?
It's grotesque, and it's not in my orbit to say I want less information, and I don't want the truth, and I want a lack of context, and I want propaganda. Some people do want that. Some people want to pop pills and escape reality. Okay, and maybe then they get hooked. This just isn't who I am. I want the good, the bad, in a relationship. I want the same thing. I just want to know who you are, and then I can make sound decisions and I can better myself. Same thing with a doctor. So I don't understand these people at all. They're bizarrely, their desire to stay ignorant.
Yeah. And I think in this block, we can identify one of the most consistent stances of this political movement going back, more than 100 years, okay? Because white supremacists don't want you to acknowledge white supremacist violence, whether it happened back in the 19th century or today. So they get rid of the evidence from slavery. And now the DOJ, as we mentioned yesterday on the show, has deleted its own study from a website showing far more domestic terrorism committed by far-right extremists. So you don't get to know about the stuff that happened forever ago. And they would say, well, that's ancient history. You don't need to know about it. You don't get to know about the stuff that's happening right now. We're gonna hide that too. Not because it's inaccurate, it's not. We just don't want you to know that stuff. And they tell us that they're for free speech, free expression. They care about, facts don't care about your feelings. But they do seem to care about my feelings. And my feelings are very, very delicate. They're like a tiny little baby rabbit. And you need to just hold them very delicately, okay? Don't be mean to my feelings. That's how the right is treating American history.